Some of us honestly just need room and space in our lives to be able to just breathe. I have had quite a week, as some of y'all have saw from my videos. We had like family issues going on. Separate from family issues, we had to put my dog to sleep. I literally had no idea, was not expecting that to be my Saturday by any stretch of the imagination. But I was sitting down thinking about what it looks like to just create margin in my life. And when I say create margin, which most of us don't use that term per se, what I'm saying is, how do you create space to breathe? How do you actually um, create space to talk through your exhaustion when you're always trying to feel so put together, when we actually need enough room in our life to be human? How do we focus on making that happen for ourselves? It's not easy. It's actually, I have a list, and you're not shocked by my list because I was sitting down thinking about that after my dog passed away. We put her to sleep on Sunday. And I remember moments where I had to rush back to work. I remember moments in my life where I had to give myself 24 hours and then get back to my job or get back to finishing something or whatever. And I didn't do that this time around. I didn't do that because after having gone through just major losses in my life, I lost my son 36 weeks of my pregnancy. I had stage 2 breast cancer out of nowhere later on in my life. And then, putting to sleep a dog, which, if you're a dog lover, you 100% understand how I feel. Their family, 15 years. I'm like, I thought about literally all the relationships I went through in the past 15 years. Like, Paris has been around, she was around for a lot. So I said, you know what? How my body was feeling, how my nervous system was feeling, just how my heart was feeling. I was not going to rush back to work. I wasn't going to rush to the next thing. I wasn't going to rush to just kind of brush the time and the pain and the grief under a rug. I needed space, and the word margin came to me. And margin is not a word that's commonly in my vocabulary, but I understand when I sat and thought through, why do I feel like I need space when something heavy is going on? Why do I feel like I need time? I sat and thought through that, and I came up with a few things that kind of pertain to, I'd say, why most of us feel exhausted right now in our day-to-day life. Like, why most of us feel like we actually need room to breathe, and how we can make that happen. The number one factor for myself right now, I would say, is definitely work, because it has been burning me out, if I'm being quite honest. I enjoy the mission of my job, I enjoy the nature of my job, but the role itself definitely is exhausting. It feels like I'm always on. PJ, quiet. It feels like I'm always on. It feels like I bring operations literally home with me. I feel like there are days, even on the weekend, where I can't go without my phone, a text, a call, something about work. You would think I own the place at this point, because the way that it's just like no separation. And trust me, I've had my fair share of jobs and startups and things like that too. So I'm not speaking from a company opportunity, I'm speaking from the standpoint of the role. And this has felt rinse and repeat, because I have been here before, and I'm looking at the pattern. And I don't want to repeat the pattern, because the pattern literally is the road to burnout. When people are always calling you and texting you, and then you have to deal with staffing issues, and then you have to put out fires, and then you're just always being accessible, and you're always being contacted, and then your to-do list just piles up, and then you end up doing the job of literally 12 other people, but yet you're one person making this one salary, and even slightly underpaid for the one salary. That's a road to burnout. um Angel, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's beautiful. Thank you for your kind words. Well, just sitting with the thought yesterday, after after we put Cardi to sleep on Sunday, I sat on Monday at my favorite little park by myself early in the morning with my coffee, just to reflect. And there's some things that I want to share with y'all, starting with the statistic that I realized. Because when I'm saying I want more margin, I'm saying I want room to breathe. I want capacity. I want space for when real life happens to me and I need to figure out how to process real life. I don't want every hour that I have in my life assigned to someone. My time needs to be my time. And if you can relate to what I'm saying, definitely let me know in the chat. I don't want like my nervous system operating at its like full maximum capacity all the time, because that quite literally means I'm on and I'm not shutting off. I don't want to wake up thinking about work on a random Sunday. I don't want any of those things. And I want enough energy left over for me, for my family, for the things that are my top priorities and my top values. I want those things. I want energy for those things. I want energy for joy. I want energy for my creativity. I want energy for my grief, for my adventure, for my fun, for my play. I want energy for my healing. And that's why I said this week is my week. This week I need time and I need space. And I'm not giving that to anybody else. So margin, I keep saying that word. I want to find a better word, but margin is basically just the gap that's between what life demands of you and what you actually have available to give. So when there's no gap, that means you're surviving. When there is a gap, that means you are living. And there's a statistic that I found that I want to share with y'all. Hold on. Okay, research from the World Health Organization estimates that burnout and workplace stress affect hundreds of millions of people globally, and chronic stress is associated with increased risk for anxiety, depression, sleep problems, cardiovascular disease, and reduced overall well being. So, one of the strongest predicators isn't simply working hard, it's feeling like you have no control, you have no recovery time, you have no opportunity to restore yourself or replenish yourself. And they determined that burnout as an occupational phenomenon related to chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. So, all that to say, what's interesting from that article is the simple fact that burnout isn't always working too much. It's often about never recovering from the work that you've been doing, never having enough space between life's demands and your ability to actually meet them. So that led me to, I'm going to keep this brief because I just wanted to randomly go live today and my computer's on 10%. That led me to writing out some things. And this may be another video that I'll actually go deeper on. But in order to get to a place where I think that need to happen, these are things that I'm doing for myself right now. Hopefully you can find some inspiration from. And it's one, building your savings, building a savings and building an emergency fund that's cushioned enough for you. I'll be transparent in saying that for the past couple years, my cushion savings account had been a minimum of $10,000. I had never in my life until a couple years ago hit that number, and that became my new normal. So building your savings, obviously figuring out what's your number, what's comfortable for you, because let me tell you, even though that had became my new normal, I feel like now it's not enough. Having gone through a job transition that was just the end of last year, I think in August, that did not last me nearly as long as I thought it would. So now I have a different number, but building your savings, creating a second income stream. I've talked about this on a couple videos. I'm sure y'all have caught this. One paycheck is not enough. It's not enough. We don't have job security like our parents did before. We also don't have job security because most of us are kind of over it and not really wanting or will walk away from a job, some quicker than others. Definitely noticed that with Gen X. And this is on the 12 here. speaking speaking from the conversations, I have noticed that about my younger kids. They will leave a job tomorrow. Meanwhile, we'll hold on for about 30, 60, 90 days because that's kind of what's been ingrained in us. And we'll kind of let our nervous system get beat up a little bit like a little punching bag before we actually take the leap. But create a second income stream. That's going to be so important. And I don't know if any of y'all have started doing that already, or even just kind of notice like, I feel like with the way of the world and the way things are kind of shifting and just going, you're just doing yourself a great disservice if it's something you don't consider and you don't look at. Whether if it's the skill you already have from the job or the work that you do, or whether it's something that you've been wanting to create and put out for a really long time, or I don't know, some aspirational dream, look into what that second income stream should be, but definitely create it. Reducing fixed expenses, so seeing where you can cut back, maybe have a little budgeting challenge with yourself too. I like those. I'm not going to hold you. I have to make saving money fun for me because it's not my first love. Um, yeah. So I do have like little tools. There's this brand I like called Baddies and Budgets, I think. I don't know. I love what she came up with. She sold me when I found her story on YouTube, and I definitely purchased like some stuff for me and my mom last year. And let me tell you, that was my second time hitting my $10,000 savings goal when I like followed her envelope. I think it was like her 100-day envelope process, and I did a few other things, but yeah, that I had to make it fun. Increasing like your flexibility within your life too. So I think when I say increasing flexibility, what I mean is seeing kind of where you can get a little agile with things. Maybe there's a small season where you are, picking up a little extra. I'm not saying hustle, so to speak, but maybe you are. Maybe it's a small season where you're doing less from a job standpoint, but maybe doing more for your personal self. And that is allowing you to get ahead. It's allowing you to kind of expedite your financial process. If you're noticing, a lot of these things kind of do tie back to just financial adjustments or money in a sense, some sense of money, creating work that isn't tied to every hour of your time. I mentioned that earlier too. Having your time be your time. At some point, you got to be okay with disappointing people. At some point, you got to be okay with not being like the number one employee getting 5 gold stars every single time, especially if you're wanting a different life on the other side, especially if you're wanting to make some changes for yourself too. At some point, you have to put you first and start showing up for yourself more than you're showing up for the job. And I'm not saying do a bad job either. I'm not saying that. Like, I do believe even biblically when it says to, excuse me, I want to say work to show yourself approved. Hold on. Yeah, study to show yourself approved. That's Second Timothy. I do believe still doing your work unto the Lord and doing a good job with the work that you're doing. I also think that still applies to our personal lives and what desires we have that have been placed inside of us that we're working towards and changing and getting out of our current reality. So I hope this is making sense. Um, I found you as I was on my final 2 weeks at my project management job. I love this. Okay, congratulations. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy that you found me when you needed it. But kudos to you for like making the leap. That's some big stuff. Binge watching your videos. Thank you for listening. Came across it today for the first time. Hey, welcome. Thank y'all for being here. You never know who's going to find these videos. To me, it's like a random girl yapping on the camera, but I appreciate that it's been landing or resonating for some of you. So thank y'all for being here. Okay, so my last point, creating work that isn't tied to every hour of your time, and then protecting your energy like it's a resource. It's going to be uncomfortable. Setting a boundary, uncomfortable. Saying no, uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. And you gonna have to build that muscle to work through the discomfort, because protecting your energy, I did a video recently on, I think, the life audit, but we talked a little bit about like your energy budget. I definitely got an energy budget video from a couple months ago. That may have been back in December. If you can find it, that's going to help you a lot. But you got to protect your energy, because have you ever noticed, or have you ever worked at a job where maybe it's your boss or whoever's in charge, they take the level of work so seriously, you would think their name is on the front door. They will check in to see, hey, how you doing? Will you be at work today? How are things going? Oh no, can't use your PTO time that day because we have X, Y, and Z happening this day, and we need you to be there at work. Like, have you ever had someone that was like that? Like, they go so hard for the company, you would think that the company's giving them like an extra fourth paycheck or something. Um, I want to be that way for my business, but more of a human type of leader. Like, all I'm saying is protect your energy like it's a resource, because they're going to protect theirs. They're going to protect their needs. They're going to protect their goal. They're going to protect their focus. So whatever your focus is, whatever is driving you, whatever you desire, whatever you're trying to get on the other side of, whatever life that you are really trying to redesign and create for yourself, keep that at the forefront and keep that as your focus. You're giving excellent advice. Can I give you my email and reach out to me later this month? I don't mind sharing my email. Please consider adding to your therapist career, helping those who are grieving the loss of their pet. Your empathy is also needed in that area. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think that definitely will naturally show up in that space too. But yeah, y'all, I just wanted to share these thoughts, and this is something that I can go a little bit deeper on too. My computer is going to be dying on me any moment, most likely. But if anything that I said resonated to you with you, or if you have like any questions or maybe any type of topics that you want to see more of, definitely comment them and let me know. If you are new here, there's a few ways to continue to like be in, what's the word I want to say? Continue to do life with me. You can join the membership. We have that available, where I have conversations that do go deeper that I don't commonly share on the open YouTube. That's getting in the liberation room. And then separately from that, a few of y'all, which I'm very excited for, has signed up for Saturday's first live clarity hour. I think that's going to be a really good time. I don't know if we're going to do that once, twice, if it's going to be on monthly repeat, but it's actually finally the space that you can have to help create a plan and your desired roadmap to start redesigning your life. If you have been tired, if you have been burnt out, if you are currently feeling like my life looks good on paper, I got a good job, it pays me well, but I'm tired. I am exhausted, and something needs to change. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to figure out what the next steps are. I don't know exactly what to do, but I know that I'm ready. Then I think that's going to be a great space for you. And I'm keeping it nice and intimate. I really love spaces that just feel intimate, not too many people, and not overwhelming either. So we can actually like talk and converse. I wish I had. I really do actually wish I had this. I had this with my therapist years ago, and I'm grateful for that space. But very rarely do you actually have a space where you can talk openly, where your coworkers obviously aren't there, and if you don't want to feel like you're complaining about the job, but yet you're grateful to have a job. And in the same token, you know that you want more. You know that something still feels off. You can still be grateful and feel exhausted. You can still be grateful and be on the road to burnout. You can still be grateful and want to pivot your life or maybe pivot your career. You can still be grateful and want to take a break. And so very rarely do we actually have spaces where we can like say that and not be like looking over our shoulder, wondering if someone's going to go back and repeat what we said and things like that. So I'm excited to just create space for the high functioning woman that's just needing that type of conversation and just needing that deep breath, but also walking away with like a start in your step, excuse me, to help you just get to the desired place that you want to be. So that'll be the first start. Mm, How would you define or categorize your niche? I guess it kind of, just seeing your question, I guess it kind of just did. That's really like who I'm focused on. Or are you asking me in terms of like becoming a future therapist? I've been getting that I've been asked that question quite a bit lately in regards to therapy since I'll be done with graduate school next year. So if you're asking in regards to that, of course I got a different answer for you, but overall on my channel or space, that is exactly the type of person that I'm supporting right now. But I'm grateful that the content doesn't just resonate or land with women. It really does touch whoever needs it, because I think there's these universal feelings and emotions that a lot of us have right now with like frustrations and changes and major life shifts, and just life is lifing for a lot of people. So I think that can be felt and resonated in many different ways. Um, Okay, y'all, I'm going to end here. Invite for you if you'd like to join the membership and be a part of the Liberation Room. Those videos are a little deeper, a little different, a little more behind the scenes. And then if you want to join the Clarity Hour this Saturday, definitely sign up. You can find the description or the link in the description of any of my most recent videos. Let me see if I can get it right here for you too to make it easier. It's almost like I just can't even type today because I think my body knows it is almost 8 o'clock. And girl, we need to relax. Okay, there we go, everybody. Thank you so much for popping on here. I hope you guys have a beautiful, blessed evening as well. And until the next episode, take care.